So here is a truth about breathwork that sometimes gets overlooked. Okay, your breathing at rest, your breathing in every simple situation is actually but a reflection of your baseline breathing pattern. So you're breathing when you exercise, right? You're breathing when you're sleeping. You're breathing when you go about your day. Even your breathing when you're doing breathwork exercises is simply a reflection of your baseline breathing pattern. And so before we get fancy, before we start looking at all the different tricks and hacks and different methodologies out there, we gotta work on restoring the natural flow of our breathing. And this is doing the work. It is the mundane. But one thing to consider is that to have a real breathwork practice, it's not only about doing breathing exercises, it's also about the 23 hours of the day that your body is simply breathing you. Now, our way of looking at this was actually inspired by the art of mindfulness, where they talk about having a formal practice, right? And this is where you, of course, sit down and you do your mindfulness. So you're doing your meditation or your cognitive behavioral therapy, and you're actively engaging in it. But then you also have an informal practice. And this is where you simply go about your day in a mindful way. And of course, you can sit down and meditate all you want, but if you then get up and about and you start throwing fingers at people in the traffic, something is a little off, right? Whereas with breathwork, it's actually much the same. We have a formal practice, which is doing breathing, and this is where we make breathing the sole focus for a period of time, right? We sit down, we choose a particular breathing technique to obtain a particular result, but we also need an informal practice. When we're not actively doing breath work, we gotta make sure that our breathing still remains in balance, and all of that hard work wasn't for nothing. So in order to restore our natural breathing flow, we use our formal practice to actually inform our informal practice. And we start building breath awareness. We create the right environment, the skills, and the practices to ensure that we can actually breathe happily ever after. And we can start seeing results almost right away, okay? The ability to breathe through the nose returns, pain goes away, and sleep will also improve. Not only that, breathwork is also one of the greatest adjuncts for treatment of anxiety, and both formal and informal practice have actually been shown to have incredible therapeutic potential for people that struggle with anxiety, depression, and other mood-related conditions. The exercise that you're going to learn today will actually start shaping, testing, and refining each of these spheres of influence when it comes to breathing, but I actually want to focus on what lies in the center of this model, and that really is the nose, okay? The nose is magnificent in so many ways. It actually takes up so much space in the face, and there's a reason for that, right? This valuable real estate is available for the nose because it has so many different functions in the human body, okay? The nose has this perfect turbulent structure that actually makes sure that the air that comes in comes down at the right velocity to hit the bottom of the lungs, which is where oxygenation happens. It also humidifies the air, it filters the air, it cleans the air, it warms and moistens the air. And one other thing it does is it releases something called nitric oxide, which is this miracle molecule that actually opens up the airways, and it makes sure that we get the most out of every breath we take. Now, the mouth does none of these things and actually has pretty much no functions in breathing, except that it is a larger hole. And when we're trying to breathe low, breathe less, and breathe slow, the nose simply must be involved. And therefore, it is step number one on the road to better breathing. So, one of the lowest hanging fruits in getting your breath to work for you is to start breathing through your nose as much as possible, including at night. It's actually simply impossible to get a good night's sleep without breathing right. And if you find yourself waking up with a dry mouth, if you find yourself needing to pee during the night and going to the bathroom, if you find yourself having periods of wakefulness, or you simply feel like you're not getting a good night's sleep, there's actually a pretty good chance that you may be mouth breathing at night. And you simply can't sleep well. Mouth breathing is associated with the sympathetic nervous system, right? And the stress response of the body, which really keeps all of our systems on high alert and never allowing the body to get adequate periods of REM sleep and deep sleep, and therefore not recovering fully from a day's exertion. So the statistics here are also pretty crazy, but it's actually been shown that 50% of men over the age of 50 today will develop sleep apnea. And it's the same for females in menopause. And this is not only preventable, it is actually reversible. And it starts with something so simple, okay? A very easy hack for the everyday person, and perhaps one of the most effective breath hacks out there, is to actually tape your mouth shut when you go to bed at night. I know this sounds crazy, but bear with me. What you do is before you go to sleep, you drink a glass of water, you brush your teeth, and then you use a little bit of micropore tape, which you can buy at any chemist or pharmacy, and you apply it either vertically or horizontally across the lips. And this will just provide a gentle seal to make sure and encourage that you nasal breathe during the night, which is a habit that's got to be established, okay? You might wake up tomorrow morning with the tape in your hair, and that's totally okay. We actually worked out from doing this with thousands of people that it takes about 5 to 7 nights for your body, for your nervous system to really adapt to wearing the tape. And so you do have to stick with it, okay? Give it an honest go, but you might even start seeing results right away on this journey to breathing less and living better.